that, she forced them to practice violin and piano for hours.
Kids have to practice 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours a day. And I think for a lot of normal American parents, that's inconceivable.
Her kids excel. Here they are at ages 11 and 14, performing at a grown-up concert. One daughter also excelled in tennis, and at school, the other made valedictorian. But the Tiger Mom's book got lots of criticism. She doesn't let kids make their own decisions.
A manual for parents who want to systematically weed out any genuine interest or passion for life.
The dream is you just give the child a clarinet and amazing jazz pops out. Or you give the child a piece of paper and, string theory will come out. But before you can invent string theory or invent the theory of relativity, you need to be able to multiply really well.
Like, where's childhood?
Yes, we want our children to be happy, but it's not the secret to happiness to say, do whatever you want, just enjoy yourself.
You called your daughter garbage once.
And I mentioned this at a dinner party, and several people walked out.
Yeah, I would think so. You're just destroying your child's spirit.
To me, the message is, you know what? I think you're better than that. I think you should hold yourself to a higher standard. And honestly, I think, parents these days, they're so terrified of making their children feel bad.
Yes, maybe for good reason. Everyone knows Asians are more likely to commit suicide. Except what everyone knows is wrong.
Asian Americans actually have among the lowest suicide rates of any group.
It's true. The Asian suicide rate is half that of the general population. Maybe Tiger Moms are better at instilling self-esteem.
You can tell your child, you're amazing all you want, but that doesn't instill true confidence. True self-esteem has to be earned.
Amy says Asian parents are more likely to be Tiger Moms, and that's why Asian Americans get better grades and have higher average incomes. Now, in her new book, The Triple Package, Amy and her husband argue any parent can do it, but certain immigrant groups, Jews, Cubans, Nigerians, and others, are more likely to instill values in kids that lead to success.
Tiger Mom is back with a despicable new theory about racial superiority.
It is racism.
It seems to be racially charged.
She is the worst person ever born.
It's not race and genetic. We say the opposite. We say, look, if you look at America, the most successful groups include all races.
So please welcome Kudiratu Kudi Usman.
Nigerian Americans are an amazing example. Less than 1% of America's black population. They made up a quarter of Harvard Business School's black students. It's something about culture and how they're raised and expectations.
You know the secret of success. It's 3 things.
The first is a sense of exceptionality. We call it a superiority complex. The second element, which is a dash of insecurity. I'm not quite good enough yet. I shouldn't just sit back.
It's contradictory. Superiority complex, insecurity.
Steve Jobs is a perfect example. He had such a superiority complex, but all of his friends also described him as deeply insecure. I think that's what creates this kind of chip on the shoulder, this goading feeling like, I need to show everybody. I need to prove myself. The third element of the triple package is impulse control.
Can your child sit still and concentrate on things that won't bring rewards for years?
Chinese immigrant parents force their preschool children to do 1 hour a day, on average, of a focused activity. That could be reading, drawing, but doing something with no distractions. 1 hour on average a day compared to just 6 minutes a day for Americans on average.
But does this obedient sitting and drilling kill the creativity that leads to real innovation? Those American tech entrepreneurs who've invented so many cool things. I hear many are college dropouts, not studious kids raised by Tiger Mom.
I look at all the innovation we've seen in America, Facebook and Google. These are not kids who were drilled. These are not kids raised by Tiger Moms. You're programming the kids.
Actually, if you look at Silicon Valley, a hugely disproportionate percentage of the innovators and startup founders are actually immigrants and immigrants' children and triple package groups.
Sergey Brin co-founded Google, Steve Chen, YouTube, Jerry Yang, Yahoo.
It's the parents' job to give them the tools, to give your children the ability to focus on something so that when they can find their passion, they can do something with it.
You had nasty fights with the girls.
Incredibly nasty, especially with my younger daughter. She refused to do it and she was off, and I said, get back to the piano. And at one point my husband said, you know what, maybe she just can't do it. And I said, you know what, you just don't believe in her. I'm going to do this. We drilled and it wasn't that pleasant. But then suddenly, after like an hour and a half, her two hands came together. She realized it at the same time that I did. And after that, Lulu refused to leave the piano. And years afterward, she told me, Mommy, I remember that moment. And I think that's a life lesson that lasts forever. I think that's how you instill real confidence.
Your daughters like you?
I think they love me.
They now say, thanks, Mom, I'm glad you did this stuff?
Actually, you'd be surprised.
Would we? We'll find out when we return.
If you push your kids, won't they hate you? I bet the Tiger Mom's children won't Tiger Mom their kids.
I'll totally Tiger Mom my kids.
Her younger sister was a little less enthusiastic.
It definitely had its ups and downs. I remember being pulled out of school to practice hours a day, and of course, I'm, a 12-year-old kid. I'm gonna say, why do I have to do this? But looking back on it, I couldn't be happier.
She just began her freshman year at, where else? Harvard. Her older sister goes here too.
Oh, I totally love being raised by my mom. She's awesome.
Now, Sophia plans to join the military.
7, 8.
She already meets the Army's basic standards, but she wants to get the top score, so she works out often.
As a girl, it's important not just to meet the standard, but to kind of exceed it. 7, 8.
Kids raised by regular parents, she says, don't have the drive.
Going to college was just seeing how many, amazing, brilliant people would encounter an obstacle and just be like, I can't do this. And I can't do this is genuinely a feeling that I have never had. I have what it takes to do, absolutely anything.
Most of us hope our kids have that feeling. Some of it just exists in human nature if we adults don't crush it. As these commercials suggest, babies want to test themselves. Even if they fall, they try and try again. Many parents want to protect them from falling, but protection has a downside.
When you create an environment free of risk, what you're doing is leaving a child vulnerable.
Because being able to fall and recover is useful in life.
I work with young people today, and when they hit conflict, they have a meltdown. And I'm being literal.
Because they've been protected as babies?
Yes. If you fire someone who's 22 today, it was not unusual for her or him to trash the place screaming and then have their parents call. They've been pampered their whole lives. And the sad reality of the world is you get slapped in the face all the time. You got to get tough.
Not too tough, but enough freedom to let them learn on their own helps them grow up. That's our show. Thanks for watching.